because now you're in all these countries, jumping around, making music, having smaller wins gradually.
Right.
But there's one huge influence on your music that's stated pretty often is like video games, pop culture, like internet culture. Where did that begin?
Because I was a fucking loser for like forever. And I think I cemented the loser part of it when I got enough money to like fund my own like video game addiction.
Wow.
So like, yeah, the PS5, I bought that with rap money, baby.
Top 3 games?
Top 3 games of all time.
Yeah.
God of War 2018 or 2016. Doom 2016.
Gotcha.
Oh, I think the first Last of Us makes that cut.
Yeah, that's incredible.
The first Last of Us definitely makes that cut.
Mm-hmm. And there's this one song I think that reminded me of that off of this new album, Abhi vs. Universe. I think we can go ahead and play it. It's called Extra Life.
I haven't heard this literally since it came out.
Need a refresher. You don't play it on the tour?
Huh? No, we haven't been playing it.
But this is how you open the album as well.
I know. I'm just like, I don't know if the world is ready to handle my falsetto. You know, your heads might explode.
And but the hook in it is what kind of draws back into it. Was it inspired by video games?
Fucking, there's a white dude over there sitting on the couch. Mm-hmm. He helped write the hook.
Really?
Yeah, but we were in the I think the verse was like an old verse that I had written to a different beat, and it was actually a rap, like this first verse. Mm-hmm. And I kind of just reformatted it with that like melody, and it had like a little like video game thing in it, and then we kind of picked that up and put it into this, and then I wrote the second verse while I was there. It was all done in one studio session.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, what was like the main just like? Was this vibing out in the studio, or was there like kind of inspiration behind outside of that?
For some reason, we just clicked with the guy who produced this. His name's Sweater Beats, and he's just such a G and such a nice guy. And I was trying to channel like having another chance or whatever, but like literally at life, and my closest experience to that is when I had to have been like 16 or 17. I was with one of my best friends in the Fiji Islands. Wow. And we were crossing the road right outside my house to the gas station to go get I wanted a Coca-Cola. Yeah. But we jaywalked. So we started jaywalking, and a cab came flying at like 40 kilometers per hour and fucking side-checked me on the thigh. I went flying 20 feet in the air, landed on the ground. All the traffic stopped, except for this one semi-truck, which was slowing down and barreling down. My glasses had fallen off my face. I turn around while I'm like barely conscious and like look, and the truck rolls over and cracks and breaks my glasses.
Jesus.
And there's like an old Fijian lady that like wakes me up. She's like, "You are so lucky. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you." And I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Wow. You literally flew 20 feet up in the air.
Yeah, the doctor was like, there was an 85% chance that you could have broken like almost every bone in your body, but somehow like you're just like, you know. And you would have thought that would have made me fucking religious too.
Yeah, right?
You know? And I was like, nah, physics.
Nah, you physics. No, that. Wow. So that was your extra life moment.
Yeah, I tried to channel that energy or the way I felt after it.
And was that an active like active channeling, or is that something you kind of reflected on as you made it?
Definitely active. Wow. You know, definitely active. Trying to channel, because I tried to think about like, when was the last time I thought about like, wow, I almost died. And it was definitely that. Wow. When it was really just like, you know, slim chance that I flew in the air a weird way and didn't land in the path of that semi-truck fucking
and not
barreling down and not die is like that specific scenario.
And so what does your process look like generally for making music? Is there a specific one? Is it spontaneous?
It's honestly just fucking super random. It's like just whatever the fuck you want, honestly. Sometimes I start off with guitar. Sometimes I'll just start off with a drum pattern. But it's always a music first. Even if people send me beats and I start writing to it, it's always like picking the right beat. It's never like lyrics. And if I do have like, if I do start with lyrics, it's usually partially lyrics that I've written already. But I never go into a song. I very rarely go into a song where I'm like, I'm going to write about this. Only after a few moments does that click what I'm actually even fucking writing about, right? So like with Extra Life, that was the thing. It's like, we just thought it'd be cool to say, I'm needing extra life. I'm not ready to die, right? That's like a great like video game reference. And I was like, okay, so I can write about death at the start of this album, which is, maybe a little gloomy.
Yeah.
But the writing process is really just random, man.
Yeah. And I think the beauty of that song specifically too, it's like, those like songs that sound happy but are incredibly like, oh, it's like this is a serious topic.
That's my favorite thing to do is fucking get groovy and funky about like suicide or something. Like, come on, guys, dance. I want to kill myself. Like, I think people love that. I think that's what people like. People like Me No Evil. It's a very like pathetically depressing song about like alcoholism and like the normalization of like alcoholism. Shout out to these beers.
Yes, sir.
But that's, kind of my vibe. I like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't like dramatic sounding music. Like, I'm not super into just like, these like crazy pop love songs that are just like really orchestral and like cinematic and stuff like that. I don't like listening to that stuff.
Yeah. You like to feel upbeat, but still like have a tailoring and taking attention to lyricism, which is something you do very well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What was it like developing that skill for you?
Really hard. I think it's a lot of it people in my DMs will always ask me, like up and coming musicians always ask me like, how do you get like the verbiage or like the palette or like the taste for like what word to put where, right? And I always tell them, it's like, it's not something that you train like consciously. It's more so just like, what are you listening to right now?
Yeah.
Right. And this is no shade to any of the examples I use, but if your favorite artist is G-Eazy, you're not going to get like much of like a depth pool as far as like your verbiage goes.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like that sort of music is great for other stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for that sort of like depth in your terminology and your diction, right?
Yeah.
Go deeper and go find someone who's known for terminology and diction.
Yeah.
Right. And naturally, people like Lupe Fiasco and like rappers like that is what I, kind of glide towards.